The evidence will show that the defendant had no choice but to act. We are asking for a verdict that fits the severity of the crime.
Jason Sinclair.
Thank you. Defendants?
Mike Franks.
And Bailey Hope.
All right, thank you. Are there any preliminary motions or procedural issues the parties wish to raise before we proceed?
No, Your Honor.
All right. On that count, so for the plaintiff, you may present your opening statement.
Thank you. Your Honor, members of the court, we're here today because Mr. Sinclair did what any brave citizen would do. He acted to preserve life. He acted to protect an officer under fire, the employees of a local business, and his own right to exist in a safe community. I am here to defend the actions taken by my client, Mr. Sinclair, to protect the lives of not only the officer attacked, but the lives of the people working and patronizing a business, as well as the public's right to defend oneself, citizens in danger, and property. While we understand the position the MRPD was placed in by the definition of law and the circumstances involved, we have formally protested the charges placed against my client. Our disagreement is twofold. First, regarding the charges of attempted murder, the burden placed on MRPD is to establish premeditation and intent to kill or cause great bodily harm. Mr. Sinclair did not seek out confrontation. This was an intent, a threat, not to kill. There's no logical scenario my client could have been premeditated in his actions. The event was spontaneous reaction to a crisis, the direct opposite of premeditated planning. While there was intentional use of force, it was a reactive force, not a premeditated one. Without prior intent, the charge of attempted murder cannot simply stand. Our second argument is the right to personal protections known as stand your ground or simply self-defense. To penalize my client for stopping a violent threat sets a dangerous precedent. It tells the citizens of this city that they must stand idly by while criminals endanger their lives, their friends, and their livelihoods. That only actions an attacker needs to take is to turn around after the attack. To label his heroism as a felony is a mockery of the stand your ground principle. It makes a mockery of self-defense, as my client and those around the establishment at the time of the incident were in fear for their lives, as made clear by their own statements. The facts will demand a clear path. The full dismissal of these charges, the reinstatement of Mr. Sinclair's firearms license, and restitution for the time, fines, and property he has lost during this unjust process. We are asking the court to correct a systematic injustice. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you so much. Counsel for the state, you may present your opening statement.
Yeah, Your Honor. We're here to prove that Mr. Sinclair's actions taken up at Roxford Mechanic were indeed the correct charge placed on him by my officers. And yeah.
That is all.
Yeah, Frank, so add to that.
Your Honor, I would like to make an addition to that. We also here to dispute that the client acted in self-preservation of his own life, due to the fact that when he did in fact shoot Mr. Butch, I was indeed running from the premises, thus presenting no threat to life at the time. And then the actions therefore taken after his attempt on Mr. Butch's life.
Okay. With that now put forward, we will now proceed with the presentation of evidence. Plaintiff, you may call your first witness if you have so.
My first witness would be Officer Mike Franks as the responding officer to the scene.
All right. Mr. Franks, if you could step up to the booth. Yes, on my left, please.
No, there's not. Yeah, just go down there.
Okay, Mr. Franks, before you testify as a witness, I will have to swear you in, okay? So repeat after me. I, Mike Franks, hereby swear
I, Mike Franks, hereby swear
to tell the truth and nothing but the truth,
to tell the truth and nothing but the truth,
and so help me God.
so help me God.
All right. Miss Sayer, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Franks, what is your rank with the MRPD?
My rank within the LSPD is Sergeant.
Okay. And you are indeed the officer who responded to the call at the Roxwood Mechanic Shop, correct?
Yes, I am indeed the officer who responded to the officer down call at Roxwood Mechanic.
From the time you arrived on scene, can you give a estimate in your own mind about how much time had passed since the shots were fired?
These shots were being fired as I was pulling up.
And you have seen the body cam presented in evidence of Lennon Powers, correct?
Yes, I have.
From the moment the shots were fired to the time that you arrived on scene, also from the time that the shots were fired upon the fleeing suspect, how much time do you think are in between those three events?
I was
And again, in your opinion.
I was pulling into the mechanics as the shots were fired, rendering Mr. Butcher incapacitated.
Okay, Your Honor. And the body cam evidence shows that there was a mere seconds from the last attack on the officer to the shots being fired. How, in those few seconds, was there an opportunity for my client to sit down and devise a multi-step plan to commit a murder? In your opinion?
In my opinion, there was ample time between him originally being kicked before he did eventually pull his firearm and fire into the suspect. There was about an estimation of 15 seconds from the initial hit upon your client to the assault on the officer to then Mr. Butcher running out of the shop.
And I'd like to let the court that we are addressing self-defense as the defense of others as well as included in the legislation. So, in your opinion, was the scene a controlled environment or was it a very chaotic environment, in your opinion?
With my professional opinion, I would say as soon as Mr. Butcher turned his back and was no threat to anyone else, it was a controlled environment. Like stated, I was pulling into the shop just mere moments after the officer down call had came in, so Mr. Butcher would have been detained on scene.
And at any point prior to this incident, did you have any intelligence or reports suggesting Mr. Sinclair was planning an ambush on the attacker?
No, but that would be due to my patrol the city of Los Santos with the trainee.
Okay. So, if Mr. Sinclair had not intervened, can you guarantee that no one else would have been injured or killed by an initial aggressor?
Yes, I can confirm that as Mr. Butcher was making an attempt to leave the area, and his back was to everyone else present inside the shop at the time.
That's conjecture, Your Honor.
Sustained.
In your training, when an officer faces a lethal threat, do they intend to murder a suspect or they intend to stop a threat?
No, we intend to stop a threat using shots that would incapacitate them and not cause them serious danger.
Is that not exactly what my client did here?
No, ma'am, as he shot Mr. Butcher in the back using a fully automatic pistol, shots ranging from his lower sternum up to the back of his skull, the base of his skull.
Did my client stop firing once the individual was incapacitated?
I can answer this question. The answer to that is no. He continued to fire once Mr. Rolf Butcher was down.
No more questions.
Thank you, Ms. Sayer. State, do you wish to cross-examine?
Yeah, Yeah, we've got
Hi.
some
Hi.
questions for the client.
The current witness at hand is Mike Franks.
Oh, Franks. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. No, not at this moment in time.
Okay, we will move forward. Is there any other witnesses you would like to bring up, Miss Ayer?
I would like to bring to the court the body cam of Officer Lyndon Powers.
That is fine. I have also received that body cam as in the pretrial state. Please continue.
Okay, in the body cam, the second-by-second breakdown shows that the officer arrives, he calls for additional backup. He enters the garage asking where the occupant of the Sultan is gone. Mr. Sinclair states that he pulled in and took off, and you can see Mr. Sinclair pointing in an unknown direction. A masked man appears, wielding a pickaxe. The officer raises his taser, takes one shot, missing. The masked man swings the pickaxe, hitting my client. The masked man swings again, striking the officer. The man screams and strikes the officer approximately 3 times. It is hard to see. The officer strikes the man with his hand that the taser is in, and the officer falls to the ground. The officer's panic alert is sent. The masked man strikes the officer on the ground, still wielding a pickaxe. The masked man runs around seemingly random. It didn't seem that he had a general goal because he does take some erratic back and forth.
Objection, Your Honor, speculation.
It's in the body cam, Your Honor.
I will count it as overruled.
The masked man is now in an open area in the middle of the shop. He is fired upon by my client, Mr. Sinclair, and it shows in the body cam the bullet striking him from the side, not the back, from the side. The masked man falls to the ground. My client is seen holding the masked man at gunpoint as the officer arrives. He puts his weapon away, and in the background, you can see Officer Mike Franks with his service pistol aimed at the building. The masked man screams the statement, quote, "You snitch, I'll remember this." The man in the mask continues yelling, you snitch." Mr. Sinclair states a expletive towards him, which is unbecoming, understood.
Objection, Your Honor. What's the relevance of the statement about your snitch to the situation at hand?
I'm simply explaining the body cam.
Sustained.
There's multiple people screaming at this point. Officer Powers states, and I quote, he's good. The guy that shot, it's the raccoon. It's the raccoon. Cuff the raccoon. The guy that shot is good. The relevance of all this is the fact that they're saying that he was shot in the back. He was shot in the side. He was still inside of the business. He was still in the immediate area where the assault had taken place. He was still an imminent threat. My client was taking actions to protect the lives of the downed officer.
Thank you, Miss Sayer. Anything you want to cross on that state?
Yeah, with Leonard's body cam, yeah. So on Mr. Lennon's body cam, 121 on Leonard's body cam, he does, yes, hit your worker, your client, sorry, and he moves to the back of the shop. Am I correct?
He does move away from him, correct?
And then at 34, Mr. Butcher then turns his back and runs out of the mechanic shop. Sorry, at 031, Mr. Sinclair then pulls his registered weapon. At 034, Mr. Butcher then turns his back and runs out of the mechanic shop. Yes, pickaxe at hand, but posing no threat to anyone. At 03 and 036, Mr. Sinclair then opens fire on Mr. Butcher, who has his back turned and runs out of the mechanic shop. At 042, he then puts his weapon away as PD pulls up. At no point does he sit there and hold Mr. Butcher at gunpoint until PD come. He puts his weapon away immediately after shooting. At 046, Mr. Sinclair is heard on body cam saying, "Get shit on, you nerd. Sorry for my language. You hit me with a pickaxe, you piece of shit." At 054, Mr. Sinclair then kicks Butcher while he is down,
Objection. Not in evidence. This is not seen on the body cam.
it's seen on Lennon Power's body cam.
Darren's got ants in his pants.
At 054. Kicks Mr. Butcher while he's down and crawling and says, "Fuck you."
I will count that as sustained.
With all due respect, Your Honor, I bore witness to the kick, so it did indeed happen.
That's why I said sustained. That means that you can continue. I will allow it. Sorry, overruled. I'm mixing here. Sorry, overruled. Continue.
And that's all we have to see at the moment on Lennon's body cam.
Your Honor, I would also just like to make the further statement of Miss Kelly here did state that Mr. Butcher made, various movements whilst attempting to leave the premises. The only movement I count is the direct line he made towards the exit. At no point does he make a turn to go back towards the other occupants of the mechanic shop and or pose further threat to them.
What if somebody was in the parking lot?
Anything further on that?
Not at the moment.
Miss Sayer, anything further?
I'd like to point out that the immediate history of the situation tells a different story. He had assaulted 2, possibly 3 people. I cannot confirm the third person, but I can confirm 2 people assaulted on the site. He was still armed. He was still dangerous. His relative position to my client is irrelevant. My client was defending the downed officer. He was making sure he didn't come back for the killing blow.
I would like to say that your client had ample time to leave that situation and get himself out of danger, and he reluctantly didn't get himself out of danger. He stayed in that mechanic shop where the danger was still presented.
The law states you can stand your ground, Your Honor. You have the right to protect yourself, the people around you, and your place of business and property.
Furthermore, Your Honor, at what point does a man having his back to individuals constitute a threat? Whether he does or does not wield a weapon at that moment. Is he a threat to the surrounding him? Yes. Is he a threat to the people behind him or next to him? No. He's attempted to vacate the scene.
Still on the property, Your Honor. And I also point out in the body cam that he did not have his back to my client. He was to the side. The shots were coming from the side, not the back. The officer was to the back of the fleeing man.
As I just stated, however, Your Honor, there was people to the side and behind him, not directly in front of him, where he could constitute a threat to their life or their well-being. He was attempting to run away from them when he was indeed gunned down.
I have to object on that because I believe that is conjecture. There's no way that you can prove that was going to be what the outcome of that was.
And there is no way you can prove the contrary, I'm afraid.
Overruled. If there's nothing further on said evidence, Miss Sayer, do you have any more to put forward?
Take a look at Jesus.
I also like to bring to light the statements of one TJ Connors and Dutch Coletti. In both of those statements, both victims,
Hey, Charlie.
excuse me, both witnesses on scene stated they were in fear for their lives. They stated that they were panicked, and they both congratulated my client for protecting them. Everybody that was there that witnessed it has told me the same exact story, that they were unsure of his actions and there was no guarantee that he was not still dangerous.
He definitely was still dangerous. He had the pickaxe.
Your Honor, can we please cut the interruptions from the crowd, please?
I cannot hear the crowd.
There's an individual continuously making statements.
What the hell did I just do?
From where I'm sitting, I do not hear the crowd. So
I
please
believe
inform
it's
me.
from the
So
gent.
if you hear anything, please inform me.
Yeah, I believe it's a gentleman wearing the checkered suit.
Okay, I will make this clear once and only once. This, everything that happens here will only be spoken to. You will only speak when spoken to. The only people that will speak is me, the plaintiff, and defendant. Unless anyone is spoken to, please do not speak. Anyone that we find that are speaking will be held in contempt. Is that okay? Please, Ms. Ayer, continue.
Yeah, the witness statements clearly state that they were in fear for their lives. It clearly states, by their account, I should say, that they were in fear. My client did what he did because he and the people around him were in fear. It was not a premeditated act. It was an act of reaction. The attempted murder charge requires the state to have both the intent to kill and premeditation. There is no premeditation in this case. There was no prior malice. There was no prior notice or planning done by my client to commit this.
State any rebuttal?
I'm just looking at my Honor. Where were these witness statements taken? Were they taken by officers, or just so I can attempt to review them myself?
They were submitted.
Body cam in
I understand. The officer was being assaulted? Was Mr. Butcher holding them there against their will? No. Means to leave via the shop or hide themselves away in a room with protection. They chose to stand there and watch it happen, and as stated, there was 15 seconds between the initiation of I'm going to pull out my pistol and shoot this individual. Is not an inner heat of the moment happening. There was an ample time for him to gather his thoughts and think about what he is going to do.
Honor, it was 6 seconds. 6 seconds that he had time to react. And even if the state doesn't see this as self-defense, there's still not ample evidence for an attempted murder charge. There has to be premeditation, period. There was no premeditation in this instance. And I also referenced the stand your ground laws. He has the right to stand his ground. He was put in charge of the property that he was in. He has the right to protect it.
Then I pose the question, why did he not shoot in the immediate aftermath of him being hit on the face? Or else he was attacking said officer?
Because there was an officer that was there. There was an officer that was taking care of the situation. And once that officer failed to take control of the situation, my client stepped in order to protect that officer.
As the individual was running out of the shop. Therefore, the officer was a no more imminent threat to life. Obvious attempt to leave the area and get back to his car and leave. While Miss Sawyer here fully depends on this case of Mr. Butcher making an obvious and clear attempt to turn back towards the other occupants of the shop and attack them. From what I can see, he's running out of the shop when he gets gunned down. Does not pose any more imminent threat to those around him.
Sorry. And if Mr. Sinclair was so scared that the threat of Ralph Butcher coming back, he gunned him down, why did then Mr. Sinclair then make the statement of
Statement of what? I'm sorry.
I believe
sorry,
the
sorry, if
statement
you
was...
get shit on your nerd, you hit me with a pickaxe, you piece of shit, and then decide to then kick Mr. Ralph Butcher while he was down.
Objection. His statement is irrelevant due to freedom of speech.
However, Your Honor, it sets the precedence that he did not fear his life was in danger making such statements towards the individual.
Overruled.
And there was multiple cases of where Mr. Sinclair, where Ralph was pulled away from the situation and Mr. Sinclair kept going to Ralph and making statements to Ralph. But for me, it doesn't seem like he was scared. It was more the fact of he shot Ralph in the back when he couldn't do anything. He was running away. Mr. Sinclair had ample time to hide, to get out of the way, same as every other mechanic that was in that shop, and call for PD while this was going on. And they failed to do so and stayed in that mechanic shop. And then it took from Ralph hitting from the first swing to then him pulling his weapon as a whole 15 seconds. 15 seconds he could then go and, you know, get out of the way of the whole situation that went on. He didn't, and he stayed in that mechanic shop.
I do agree that it was 15 seconds from the strike on my client, but it was approximately a maximum of 5 seconds from the last strike upon the officer. I also like to bring to the attention that this sets a very bad precedent. That means that anybody who assaults another person can immediately turn away, and even if they don't intend to run, at least look like they're intending to run.
Yeah, that upon Mr. Sinclair's arrest, I did make it plain and clear to him that if, say, he had shot Mr. Ralph in the instantaneous moment after being hit, that would still fall into self-defense. The point Miss Sawyer here is trying to make, I would render mute for the fact that if you are hit, and then in the moments after, defend yourself, that's self-defense. However, waiting 15 seconds to do so sets a clear premeditation in order to cause harm to this individual as he is attempting to run away.
And the fact that he still continued to shoot Mr. Butcher while he was down.
Okay, I think we have pondered on that one piece of body cam enough, and I have heard enough of this. Miss Sayer, do you have any more witnesses or evidence to put forward?
One moment, Your Honor. I call Mr. Bryson Sinclair to the stand.
Okay. Mr. Sinclair, you have the microphone in front of you, correct?
I sure do. How you doing today, Your Honor?
Okay, I will swear you in. Just repeat after me, okay? I, Bryson Sinclair,
I, Bryson Sinclair,
will tell the truth and only the truth.
will tell the truth and only the truth.
Thank you. Now, Miss Sayre, please continue with your witness.
Mr. Sinclair, can you please explain to the court, in your words, from the point of the initial attack to the point of you firing, your thought process and your version of events?
Yeah, I sure can. I remember the evening well. I just purchased a new vehicle. I was coming back from parking that vehicle. There was a black in color car that came up to the garage. I'm the manager of one of the few managers of Prestige Motors there in Roxwood. So I was coming back from parking my vehicle in the garage. A black and color car was coming back up. I had been training a new mechanic that day. They were standing in the mechanic shop. I saw the individual jump out of the car and jump onto the roof of the building. Immediately following that was about the same time I came into the building. A officer pulled up, an Officer Lennon Powers, I do believe. Officer Powers got out of the car, started asking, TJ Connor was the name of that mechanic, if he knew where that individual went. And I replied to the officer, I said, as far as I know, he just screwed off. Like, I'm not sure where he went, you know? And about the time that I got those words out of my mouth, Ralph Butcher jumped down. At the time, I didn't know it was Ralph. It was just some crazy individual with a raccoon mask on who was swinging a pickaxe. Hit me in the face with a pickaxe. I was hit so hard, I almost blacked out on the spot. It took me a few seconds to get my kind of my awareness again. It's kind of seeing stars there for a second. He then started to attack the officer at the time, Officer Powers. So I backed away from Officer Powers and the individual who's known as Ralph Butcher, who got into the scuffle at the time. I was felt at the time the officer would handle the situation. It's his job. That's what he's hired for. I'm, at the mechanic doing my job, and the officer was doing his. I backed away from the situation, maybe 3 to 5 feet at most. At that time, I saw the officer go down. At the time the officer went down, I then reached for my pistol, my legal pistol. I keep that weapon secure away. Obviously, I don't open carry with it. I didn't have it in my hand at the time. So it took me a second to pull it out. By the time I pulled it out, I saw Ralph Butcher hit the officer again with a pickaxe. So I took aim at Ralph Butcher and I shot him. As soon as Ralph Butcher was incapacitated, I then put the weapon away. And I would say maybe 3 to 5 seconds later, Officer Mike Franks and a couple of our officers on scene, I don't know who it was at the time, showed up. And yeah, that's about it. The only thing that I was thinking going through my head was, this individual has a pickaxe. He's a screaming maniac. Never said a word besides screaming. I had 2 mechanics on duty. There was a customer there. Another customer was pulling up. I didn't know if this individual was going to hit them, hit me again, anyone again. So he was still inside the building. He would never made it out into the parking lot. He was still in the building, maybe 3 to 5 feet from where the officer was down when he got shot. I took aim as or maybe a second after he had hit the officer again with a pickaxe after he was on the ground. So I was just trying to save the life of an officer. I didn't want to see an officer die in front of my eyes. And I also didn't want to see anyone else in the shop that I'm in charge of get hurt, especially the customers or other mechanics that, I trained. It was a young man, TJ Connor, a very bright young individual. I didn't want to see him get hurt. I just met him that day. So I just took what I felt was appropriate action to stop the individual at the time.
Okay. So you're saying that the individual had a mask on, correct?
The individual had a mask on the entirety of the time.
How do you seen him in that immediate time before? Had he identified himself to you in that at that time?
That is a negative. I've not seen him before. He never identified himself. He had, as far as I know, a very high pitched voice at the time, and he was screaming as he was coming down. Never said a word. The only thing he did was scream like a maniac with a pickaxe in his hand.
Okay. And so you had no plans to harm this individual prior to this incident, correct?
There was no intent on harming the individual. I'm really mostly a pacifist, so I wasn't trying to hurt anyone. I definitely didn't want to kill anyone. So
No further questions.
State, your witness to cross-examine.
Yeah, Mr. Sinclair, I do have
Yes,
a
sir.
question for you. Now, in the immediate moment after being hit with a pickaxe, did Mr. Butcher apologize to you?
no,
Bearing in mind the incident was caught on body cam.
no, he never said a word to me. He just screamed. As far as I'm aware of, he screamed at me the entire time. He screamed in a very high-pitched voice that is not his normal voice. He came down screaming like a crazed maniac. I must repeat again, crazed maniac swinging a pickaxe.
Your Honor, I would like to state now that in the body cam, in the moment after hitting Mr. Sinclair, Mr. Butcher does indeed apologize for doing so. And as Mr. Sinclair here has admitted, he was hit hard on the head and thus was probably suffering from a concussion.
If he did, then I never heard it. Only thing I heard was screaming the entire time. And yes, I was hit in the face with a pickaxe so
Mr.
hard
Sinclair?
that I almost went down. Yes, sir.
Mr. Sinclair, please. Refrain from said actions. Please let your lawyer take care of the talking.
And also, Your Honor, second question for you, Mr. Sinclair. So you said being hit by the pickaxe did indeed daze you, Mr. Sinclair, but then you immediately ran away. Now, surely, after being hit with such force as you are claiming to have been done so, you would have a bit of struggle finding your feet. You know, you'd be swaying a bit, going left and right. However, you make a beeline for the back. So, what was your explanation for that? Were you dazed before or after that?
Stop.
Would you like me to speak now?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'd already stated that. I took some steps back to let the officer handle the situation at the time.
However, Mr. Sinclair, taking steps back means going backwards, not running forward to the opposite end of the mechanic shop, then turning around. Now, as you stated, you saw the officer was fighting with Mr. Butcher, and then you stated that you saw a customer pulling in, and that myself arrived on scene 5 seconds after the initial account occurred, and that you had your weapon pointed at Mr. Butcher, if I recall. Now, in light of that, why would you still have your weapon pointed at Mr. Butcher, as stated by your lawyer, yet you have just stated that you put it away?
I stated that he had his weapon drawn as the officer. He put it away.
Yeah, you stated that he held him at gunpoint while he was on the floor, and your client said he shot him and then put his service weapon away.
As
The
soon
witness may
as
answer.
as Mr. Franks and the other officers showed up, I put the weapon away. That's my recollection of the events.
Now then, Your Honor, I do have one further question. In the immediate aftermath of being shot, as there is about 2 or 3 seconds before Mr. Butcher does go and start attacking Officer Powers, why did you not pull out your weapon and shoot him then? You know, self-defense, you just been hit. Why did you run away and then wait until Mr. Butcher was running away from everyone before shooting him?
I stated that already. Mr. Butcher was in a fight with the officer, and I was allowing the officer to do his job. My weapon stays secure in a safe location in my pockets. I do not carry it with me. So from the time that the officer went down is to the time it took me to pull the weapon out. That's immediately what I did. As soon as the officer went down, I pulled the weapon out, and he hit the officer again with the pickaxe, and then that's when I shot him.
No, Mrs. Sinclair, my answer was, why did you shoot him as he was running away?
He was never running away. He was in the mechanic shop the entire time posing a threat.
Now, Your Honor, as we have previously established, Mr. Butcher was indeed making an attempt to leave the mechanic shop. And Mr. Sinclair's previous statement about Mr. Butcher being 3 to 5 foot inside the mechanic shop when indeed shots were fired can be disproven by such, as he was on the border between the garage door and the parking lot when he was shot. So all I'm asking for Mr. Sinclair here is a bit of clarity. Was Mr. Butcher on the berth of exiting the shop, or was he 3 to 5 foot inside of the shop when he was indeed shot?
I believe I stated that he was 3 to 5 feet from the officer at the time. He was still inside the actual concrete of the building. The building transitions from concrete into asphalt outside into the parking lot. His feet were definitely still inside the building in concrete, where, might I add, there were workers and customers that I was afraid of for their lives at the time.
Mr. Sinclair, at the time you
hang
did
on,
shoot.
Hang on, Franks. You state that you were scared for the lives of customers and your workers, correct?
That is correct.
So when you shot, there was no customers, nor was there any workers anywhere in the vicinity of Ralph when he was running out. They were all stood at the back of the wall, out the way. You were the only person to step forward and shoot, correct?
I was the only person that had a firearm that did take a shot at Mr. Butcher. That is correct.
So where was I? So actually, it's over.
Mr. Sinclair, when you did shoot Mr. Butcher, you heard my sirens approaching, yes? As I was arriving on scene as you fired at Mr. Butcher.
I don't recall if I heard sirens or not.
And furthermore, what was the necessity for the fully automatic gunfire into Mr. Butcher?
The following gunfire into Mr. Butcher.
The fully
Objection,
automatic gunfire.
irrelevant. It was a state-supplied firearm.
Excuse me, Your Honor, but surely if he's acting in self-defense, he would only fire 1 or 2 shots, not empty a full automatic magazine into the back or outside of Mr. Butcher. Surely that is excessive use of force, is it not?
I will overrule that objection.
So, Mr. Sinclair, once again, what was the necessity to empty a full mag of fully automatic gunfire into the side and or back of Mr. Butcher?
I shot Mr. Butcher in the side until he fell to the ground. That's all I did. There was no thought process of emptying a full magazine into him at the time.
Why did you continue to shoot Ralph when he was down?
I don't recall shooting him more while he was down. Ralph hit the ground, and then as far as I'm aware, I had the gun out until the officers pulled up and put the gun away.
So question. From when you get hit, it takes a full 15 seconds for you to then do anything about it. What's that for? Why did it take so long?
I've already stated the answer to this. The officer got into the fight with Mr. Butcher, and I was allowing the officer to do his job. It's not my job to take retaliation against someone, especially when there's an officer on scene. It's the officer's job to handle that, correct?
Please don't ask them questions.
Oh, sorry. It was rhetorical.
After the 15 seconds, before you shot him, did Ralph, while he was running away with his back turned to you, did he pose any threat to you?
I fully believe he posed threat to anyone on the property at the time.
And what threat was that?
He was wielding a weapon, screaming like a maniac.
Okay. So, Ralph, who's got a pickaxe, and you that have a gun, you were overpowering Ralph with weaponry, correct? A gun to a pickaxe isn't what's the word I'm looking?
Equal.
Yeah, isn't equal. Correct?
Objection irrelevant. The officer was also wielding a pistol and a taser, and he was overpowered by the individual.
Sustained.
Okay, and yeah. I'll reword that question then. So, Mrs. Sinclair, as you stated, you shot Mr. Butcher in the side as he was running away from you and the other individuals in the shop. And you stated you felt he still posed a threat to your life and those around you due to the weaponry. Now, during the time that elapsed between him assaulting Officer Powers and then running, why did you not take the opportunity to move into the side room in the mechanic shop for further safety and make a call to the police? Why did you not make an attempt to vacate the premises as you put it, there was such a grave risk to your life and those around you?
Your Honor, I would like to state that I never said that Ralph was running away from the situation. I don't know where Ralph was going at the time.
Your Honor, that's not the question I asked him.
The witness may answer the question.
Please state the question again.
So, in the time Ralph was running towards the exit, and you believed he posed an imminent threat to you, as well as the time that elapsed between him hitting you and then engaging in a conflict with Officer Powers, why did you not extricate yourself and the customers from the building, as there was obviously enough time to do so, or take them into the side room and barricade yourselves?
Well, I believe at the time my thought process is that there's only so much exit out of the building. You have to pass through the officer and Mr. Butcher to get out. So somebody could have been hurt exiting the building as well. There was
Your
no...
Honor, I would like to state that inside the Roxbury mechanic shop there is a door leading to a small office where they could have taken refuge inside and barricaded the door.
Thank you, Mr. Franks. That will be taken into account.
I'd like to ask a further question. On Mr. Officer's Power body cam, it said get shit on your nerd. What do you mean by this?
It was just adrenaline at the time after getting into an argument with him because he started screaming. He started screaming
I'm
at me
going
as
to
well.
object on that. I feel it's irrelevant to the question at hand.
Your Honor, if he feared for his life as much as he did so, why would he make inflammatory statements to a man he claimed is not of safe state of mind?
I've noted the objection and it's sustained.
Okay then. So you're saying the original statement was due to adrenaline, then how about the kicking Mr. Butcher when he was on the ground, and then the further statements made after that?
I think it's all adrenaline. It all happened within a few seconds. It's not like it was minutes after.
But once again though, does that not prove that you obviously weren't in fear of your life with such a deranged individual as you've made him out to be?
I was in fear of my life up until the point until again the officers had shown up, and yes, after that it was just adrenaline. That was it.
However,
Okay.
the comment you made about get shit on you nerd, apologies for the French, Your Honor, was made before I had arrived on scene.
The kicking was made after an officer was trying to assist Ralph to get medical, which his EMS worker was going to be your lawyer, which I don't know how this is working, how your lawyer is representing
Objection
you. while
irrelevant.
the
I
EMS
arrived after the scene had cleared, and I was also cleared at the station to represent Mr. Sinclair.
Sustained.
Well, I want to ask another question on Officer Mike Franks here. At 4 hours and 01:34, your client, sorry, let us go back. Franks had moved, had Ralph on his shoulders, moving him away from the situation to de-escalate the situation. Your client then moves towards Mike, saying, "You fuck around and you find out." What do you mean by this? And why did you persistently continue go to Ralph while he was moved
Objection
out the way?
irrelevant.
It is
Your
kind
Honor.
of relevant because
Overruled.
you're trying to claim self-defense, but your client is continuously getting moved out the way and continuously making comments towards Ralph while he's not in the situation. At this point, your client seems to be the aggressor at this point. Am I wrong?
Objection, speculation.
Last
Sustained.
question on that withdrawn, Your Honor. Okay,
Okay.
so, building upon Officer Hope's yes, no. Why did you feel the comfortability of making these statements and pursuing Mr. Butcher as he was in a state requiring medical attention? The adrenaline would have worn off by then. So
Objection.
was it a...
Relevance.
I'm not finished, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Now, you are claiming that you had such a fear for your life, and you believed he was deranged, or psychotic, or not of safe state of mind. Now, why, after the fact of shooting him, would you continue to pursue this individual, making inflammatory comments towards him, when you believed he just posed a great fear of risk for your life? Do you not believe he would come back for some form of restitution or retribution?
He was screaming at me. I was screaming back at him. Just the threat was over once Ralph hit the ground.
You're
So
not answer my question.
I believe that answers it perfectly.
My question being, if he believes this individual is of an unsafe state of mind due to his yelling, why would he then seek him out as an officer as attempting to de-escalate the situation, making inflammatory comments that would put him in a great risk of danger and risk to his life?
Objection, speculation.
Not speculation whatsoever. It's obviously been proven that he did not fear himself after Mr. Richard Butcher was on the ground. Yet why, if he believes he's such an unsafe state of mind?
The objection is overruled. The witness may answer the question.
Again, he was screaming at me. I was screaming at him at the time. I had started screaming back after he screamed at me. It was just adrenaline. That after Ralph was on the ground and disabled, that's when the fear of my life was gone. I wasn't thinking about the future at the time. It was a few seconds afterwards. I was not thinking about what was going to happen in the days to come. I was thinking about what was happening in the now.
Okay.
That is something you
So you did that, but then why did you then follow Mike Francio while he took Ralph out of the situation?
I don't believe I followed him. From my recollection, I went into the office immediately after, got changed, and went down to the station to give a statement.
Incorrect. You followed Frank's. You took him to the bottom of the car park, out the way to de-escalate the situation, and you still followed Frank's.
I remember I needed medical attention from the EMS that showed up on scene because I got
no
hit in the
EMS
head.
at the time. There was
Ms.
no
Bailey,
EMS at the
please
time.
allow the witness to answer fully before you interrupt.
Yes, as far as I knew that I was going to have to give a statement for what was happening. You don't just shoot someone and not give a statement. And I also needed medical attention. As soon as those things had happened, I was going to give my statement. I received medical attention. I directly then got changed and went to the station at Roxwood to give a statement.
So, at the time you made the statement, there was no EMS on scene at the time. Correct?
Again, I didn't want to flee the scene, so I stayed with the officer so that
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying while Frank had Ralph on his shoulders, you still went from the mechanic shop to Mike that was at the bottom of the car park with Ralph and still made statement. Even though you stated that you were waiting for EMS, there was no EMS on scene. So what was the point of making them statements to Butch?
I also stated
relevance.
Your Honor, it's trying to set a clear pattern of behaviour where Mr. Sinclair obviously is not as in greater fear of life as he believes, upon the assumption that Mr. Ralph Butcher is not of safe state of mind to be making those inflammatory statements towards him.
And also, my client has stated.
Because, Your Honor, if I may make a further statement, Mr. Butcher then threatens that he will get his revenge on him, and he still continues to make those comments. Surely upon threat to your well-being, you would cease making the comments and stop following him.
Again, objection, speculation.
Not speculation whatsoever. A threat was made to your client's life. He continued to follow Mr. Butcher, making those statements towards him, showing a clear disregard for his own safety.
Overruled.
I just want to also may add that at no point did I see or hear any point Mr. Bryson Sinclair look or / acted Like he was scared during any of this interaction.
And objection, speculation.
It's not speculation. When your client is kicking Mr. Butcher while he's down and then making comments that
Shouldn't they
wouldn't
wait for the judge to answer?
surround that.
Okay, I feel like we are just going in circles now, so I feel like it's time for a little recess.
Yeah, Bjorn, I'd like to call for a 5-minute recess.
We will be going for a 5-minute recess. I see you back 2 minutes past the hour.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anybody have food?
Fuji.
Yeah,
Yes,
hold on, guys.
thank you.
Thank you.
Big burger.
Yes, please.
What happened? They win?
Why are you making weird noises when you're eating?
Oh, sorry, I fell asleep then.
Oh, I think you. Oh, you give it to him. Okay.
That's badass.
What I find is,
190. Oh, you get 180.
okay, you know what I find funny?
No, I feel like the defense is scoring some
190.
points.
Playing
Yeah.
like he's not running away.
Thank
and if
you.
you watch the body cam, he's literally a foot from being out of the fucking gates and out of the property.
Oh yeah, no, I mean they have no chance of this.
It is cut and clear that he's running away from everyone.
Hello.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I think it's
Yeah,
just a
come
one
over.
shot. They're just trying to get something, but it's not.
I don't want to.
trying
Yeah.
to just get him his stuff back.
Exactly.
It's not gonna work out.
What's the thing about anyway?
Oh look, it's Huggy Bear. When did he come in?
That's not a. It's there's no mistrial here. The court is. The case is about. It's defending criminal charges against him for self-defense instead of murder. Murder in any sense of the.
Oh yeah, but I'm older.
Murder.
The judge sustained her objection on his words. Yet they keep. That's the whole crux of their argument. They keep bringing it up. It's leading.
That was a fucking legend, bro.
The rule that they can't use that, but they keep on using it. That's a mistrial. They're
No,
breaking
that
the
was
judge's.
just-
No,
That's not-
no,
The
it's
judge
not.
would
It's
have
not a
to-
mistrial.
It's
Um,
100%.
No, a
No, a
mistrial.
mistrial
I can
come that
just
easy.
take the. So if the judge overrules me, I can just keep bringing it up. No,
No, the
problem.
judge is gonna hold you in contempt at that point.
Yeah.
That's not a mistrial.
You-
You can
you-
get held
A mistrials can be held.
Trying to do.
No, mistrials can be held on lack of.
Shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, he does look like shit. Mistrials can be due to a number of things, but with objections and sustainments, there is no. You can't bring it up for that. That's not a mistrial.
Tommy, you're,
So you realize if a mistrial
if
has
I say
occurred, they just
something and I'm
retry it. You know
overruled,
that, right?
the next question I can just ask it again. Is what
Well, the
you
judge is
just
gonna
said.
hold
Change it a
you
little bit.
That's what
contempt.
you just said.
Yeah, no, you can
they
change
didn't
the
change it.
question.
They didn't
Well, then the
change.
judge needs
They
to
are
call that
using
out.
his exact words.
Okay.
So you realize
So
just
the
calling
problem
it as
is
a
this
mistrial
court
doesn't end
case.
the entire case, right? It's just
Yeah,
gonna
the
get
court
retried.
case is more of, was it a murder
Was it
or
self-defense or not?
self-defense? And that's what they're going around. It's right now they're going around in circles. That's why they called recess because they're probably going to make a ruling here.
I don't understand why
problem
they
is-
brought me up because I can literally fucking tell them.
Objection that was
Because you're-
sustained.
you
That's
have
but
why
the-
nothing
it's
to do
going
but
with
in
whether or
the-
not it was self-defense or not.
But here's the
Yeah,
thing:
no,
when
but, you know,
when you're
realize
looking at when
usually
you're talking
you
about
don't bring the
premeditated
ones
murder,
involved.
murder is premeditated, right?
Listen,
But the
I
time it
want to be
takes to pull
fucking
a gun
suing
out,
him for fucking compensation after this
load
shit.
it,
The fact
and
that the
aim
gun
it and
wasn't in
shoot
his
it.
hand
Right.
means
Yeah.
that's premeditation.
That's
He thought clearly
premeditated.
enough to take the gun out and act
Yep.
on it. So it's
Oh
easy case.
my God. Okay. I
mean-
this is a bias.
God dang it!
What the?
It's
the
not-
truth, man.
It's
Bias.
literally
See
literal
how-
legislative.
Mhm.
A foot from
No idea
being
Like
out
literally,
of
I
the
could be standing here
doors.
right now and be like, you know what? I'm gonna kill Tommy, and I'm gonna kill him. If it took me 1 second to think that, that's premeditation, man. Whether it's a second or an hour. Or
Self-defense
thinking
is still
about it.
premeditated murder because you have to
Them
think
to do
about
it.
it.
Don't you fucking dare.
Fuck, hey. What I was saying is
I can hold it.
what I was saying is even self-defense is premeditated because you have to think about it. Now, when someone's back is turned to you, then it becomes murder because their back is turned.
Yep.
Yeah, they're also saying he's running around. No, he isn't. He made a beeline for the door.
Exactly.
I mean,
wouldn't that be called, like, stand your ground
at all? No.
It's only stand your
The
ground.
threat was
It's
ended.
Actively.
Yeah, the threat is ending. The threat is completely
defendant
over.
Here was across the room, not being attacked, and the attacker was.
If you
running
want to
away
see the
from him.
body cam is available for everybody to view, by the way.
He
Where
just-
is it?
took steps
It's under
towards-
government announcements.
I've seen it, yeah.
Literally took
I'm
steps
surprised no
towards
one's
the
asked
attacker
EMS
and
for
then shot.
a medical opinion or a psych evaluation.
Well, the prop.
No.
Hey, can I speak to you real quick? Just like I think we've got like a minute. I think we got like a minute or two. Am I talking to you?
I'm not gonna lie. With the stuff that I've seen, I would have had this fucking court case done fucking half an hour ago.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's literally nothing that they can even
All
come
you need
back
to
with,
bring up
man.
is the fucking officer's body cam. It clearly shows the attacker running away and the defendant shooting him in the back. They're making
And
a
that's
fuss
it.
about no,
That's
he was
the
shot
whole
in the
thing.
sides.
Like, who cares what people think or anything like that? It's just a matter of like the facts.
No,
Do I get a
the
seat
defense is trying
closer
to
to
say
the
that he acted
They're just
in
grasping
self-defense and he
at
was
Also, I would
in
like to
a
state,
state of mind which he could
if
not.
any
clearly
one of you
collect.
are in need of food or beverages, please speak to Mr. Harry K.
Where is it?
Here's the food.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Anybody need food?
For him, but it ain't gonna pan out at all.
Okay.
Bless you, my son.
Just head over to Harry and yeah, Harry should have some. Just wait right here and Harry will get you.
To go to the fucking moon with this one.
Yep.
Anybody else need any food? Huh?
I will go get some because we have just run out.
Oh, it's unfortunate.
I'll go get some.
Can someone also please find Miss Sayer and Mr. Sinclair, please?
They're evading.
No one's open. I'll go get
Oh, just yeah, sure. It does it there. I don't mind.
Jesus. Hello, Jesus.
Oh my God, Jesus.
Okay, before we continue the court case, may I have both counsels please approach for a sidebar?
Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you.
Who are you gonna lose? I will arrest you. But
Damn, you're aggressive.
moving away.
The court is now back in session. Please move on with the next witness or evidence.
Your Honor, at this time we are looking to excuse Mr. Sinclair from the witness stand.
That is perfectly fine. Ms. Sinclair, you are excused as a witness.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any further evidence or witnesses that should be brought forward, Ms. Sayer? Nothing further at this point?
One moment, Your Honor. We move to bring TJ Connor, a witness to the events, to the stand.
Where is Mr. Connor?
TJ Connor is not here.
He was here. And apparently he left. Okay. Well, he was my other witness. We have his statement already on file, as you've seen.
His statement has also been posted in the evidence on the website.
we moved that the. All right, forgot to turn off my phone. My apologies. We moved that, according to all witnesses on scene, they were all in fear for their life. We have adamantly pushed that, and we feel that that argument is now moving forward. We bring to the court the fact that they have yet to prove any instance of premeditation against my client.
Miss Sayer,
Objection,
do you have
Your
any
Honor.
Miss Sayer, do you have any further evidence or witnesses to bring forward before we can move on to closing statements?
No, Your Honor. My apologies.
State, do you have any witnesses or evidence you want to bring forward?
Yes, Your Honor. We would like to call Miss Kelly Sawyer to the stand.
Okay. Miss Kelly, please repeat after me.
Yes.
I, Kelly Sayer.
I, Kelly Sayer.
Will speak the truth and nothing but the truth.
Speak the truth and nothing but the truth.
State, you may proceed with your questions.
Miss Sawyer, so as the responding EMS on the scene, you treated both Mr. Sinclair's and Mr. Butcher's and Officer Powers' injuries, correct?
Correct.
Now, what was the extent of the injuries to Mr. Sinclair here?
He had blunt force trauma to the upper body and a mild concussion.
So Miss Sawyer, he claimed, so in the body cam and from his own statement, he alleges he was hit in the face. So was the injury to his torso or to his face?
I believe the pickaxe had hit him in his upper extremities, including his face and his torso.
Okay. Thank you. And now then, based off his statement itself, would you go as far to give your professional medical opinion that he was suffering from any form of head injury that may cause concussion, memory lapses, incapability in that moment?
Mild concussion, yes. Memory lapses, no.
Okay. And then in regards to Mr. Butcher, as say you treated him for gunshot wounds at the scene itself, what were the extent of his injuries?
I believe he sustained a gunshot wound to the shoulder, was the primary impact point.
Oh.
He did have some other flesh wounds on his body that were treated on scene.
Now, Your Honor, I would like to state, as Miss Sawyer stated previously, I would like to call her current statement into repute. As she stated, Mr. Butcher was shot up the side. We've seen the body cams showing he was shot up the side in a vertical pattern, so I find it hard to believe he only had one wound to his shoulder. So I'd like for Miss Sawyer to think about the extent of the injuries, and then try and give the best possible recollection.
Again, as I stated, my name is Sayer, to be clear for the record. And secondly, he was hit and there was a bullet embedded in his shoulder. The others were flesh wounds. The actual bullet that brought him down was impacted in the shoulder. I did not claim that he was only hit by one bullet. I claimed the other impacts to him were flesh wounds.
And Your Honor, as... Oops, sorry. Didn't realize you went up.
The primary impact to him was in the shoulder.
And, Your Honor, throughout previous statements in this case, Miss Sayer has called upon the medical records of both individuals. To the extent of my knowledge, the subpoena for the medical records weren't submitted to the court, and as such shouldn't be used without being proven there, as it is a violation of the best evidence rule, is it not? Her using the evidence of medical records.
I never submitted evidence of the medical records, and any subpoenas should have been done through EMS command, not through me, because of conflict of interest.
I wasn't stating you had submitted evidence of medical records. I stated that you used the medical records in your statement, thus entering them as evidence as part of your statements and questionings.
Never once brought the medical records to light, Your Honor.
The injuries are medical records, are they not?
The injuries that I stated were from the body cam footage of Mr. Lennon Powers. You can see from the body cam footage the point of impact.
So you state right that the injuries would be caught on Lennon's body cam, where there's a substantial amount of feet between Lennon, who's also incapacitated, and Ralph that's just been shot in the back. Do you reckon the body cam footage of an officer that's incapacitated can catch injuries that substantial on body cam when Ralph is not nowhere near in close proximity to catch those injuries?
Can you rephrase the question? I'm unsure of what you're asking.
So what I'm basically asking is, how would Lennon's body cam pick up the fact of Ralph's injuries when the one Lennon was down and injured, incapacitated, and Ralph was a very long way distance away. There's no way the body cam would pick up the extent of Ralph's injuries, correct?
I don't believe that the injuries themselves were ever brought into question.
No, but you've just brought the injuries up, saying that it would be caught on Lennon's body cam.
In that instance, I was speaking of the trajectory of the bullets that were fired, not necessarily the actual injuries to the individual.
I have another question. So, with it being an automatic weapon, would hang on. With it being an automatic weapon, would the injuries not be a far lot worse than what is being stated currently?
Again, I stated in my report, which I will swear to the court, since the day that this incident happened, I have never looked at, I have never touched, nor have I changed, that he had a substantial gunshot wound and a bullet embedded in his shoulder. The rest of his injuries were flesh wounds, commonly known as through and through shots. They were all treated on scene and he was stabilized. And at that moment, the PD officers took him into custody.
Can I ask what shoulder he was shot on?
His right shoulder.
Okay, Messiah. So from the direction of the injuries, does it indicate that Mr. Butcher was heading towards the individuals inside the shop and or posing risk to them? From the bullet trajectory and your professional medical opinion.
In a professional medical opinion, I cannot make that opinion as I am not a forensic scientist.
But you just brought in bullet trajectory as part of your statement, did you not?
Only from what is seen upon the body cam footage.
However,
not
you
from medical
cannot
record.
use the bullet trajectory and then state you're not a forensic scientist in the same statement. The two contradict each other. So, based upon you stating where he was shot and the direction of the wounds, does it show him running towards the individuals in the shop or heading away from them, or in a direction not facing them?
I'm gonna have to object on my own because relevance. This is highly irregular, and I feel that there's nobody here to object to their line of questioning.
Your Honor, the relevance being, as the medic who treated them on the scene, her testimony will prove whether or not Mr. Butcher was shot whilst attempting to charge towards the individual in the shop, or whether the direction or impact of the wounds shows that he was not on a movement towards them at all, or a movement away from them, or parallel to them.
The fact of the statement is, I am not a forensic scientist. I only treated the wounds that I saw on him. I was not there during the incident. The only thing I can go on as the lawyer in this instance is the body cam footage. As
However, though,
a
Miss,
medical professional, I cannot speculate as to how the bullets entered. Again, as I am not a forensic scientist, that is something that would need to be done, especially by a person who is qualified for that. I am EMS. I showed up after the fact, and I did not learn of the direction of the bullet entry or any other details of the case until approximately an hour, maybe two after the fact. I could not at the time, whenever I arrived on scene, come to a consensus of how he was shot. My understanding now, after the fact, comes from the body cam of Lennon Powers.
Okay, then, so, like you said, he had through and throughs and flesh wounds. Were the through and throughs from one side of his body to the other side of his body?
That's correct.
So, would it be unnatural to assume that he was shot in his side?
I cannot assume. That is
So, here's my
not something we are allowed to
question.
do.
But, from what you saw, does the bullet show entering one side of his body and exiting the other in a clear motion?
This is good.
When you treated him?
When I treated him, my focus was on stopping bleeding.
That wasn't my
stopping
question, Miss
death.
Sear. My question was, did the bullet path indicate a shot to the side?
I do not have that knowledge as the EMS, and I don't feel like I can answer this
Your Honor.
question as I have seen it after the fact. I feel like that my answer would be tainted.
So, to your best assumption, and excuse my somewhat bluntness here, Your Honor, when you arrived on scene, you assumed the bullet had done a 180, shot him, and then did circles around his body before accident. To the best extent of
Objection,
your
Your
knowledge.
Honor.
Your Honor, I'm just asking a question. She states
What
she's
is
not a
the
forensic scientist.
Hold up, Mr. Franks. What is the objection, Ms. Ayer?
Relevance. An absurd.
Your Honor, she just stated as an EMS professional she cannot tell if a bullet traveled in a straight line from one side of the body to the other side of the body. Surely that would be self-explanatory.
I will overrule the objection on the basis that you are a medical professional. However, you are not a forensic scientist. You cannot do trajectory. You can do bullet entry and bullet exit.
That was my questions, Your Honor. If she believed, without proving that the bullet traveled from one side of the body to the other.
The witness may answer the question.
I can attest that the bullet entered into his upper shoulder. I was not aware at the time of where the exit wound was. I only treated, and it was a very chaotic scene. I also moved to object on evidence as there was no subpoena for medical records placed.
Your Honor, at no point did I use their medical records. I asked for a professional opinion on the extent of their injuries.
I will let it slide. As there was no medical records brought up, there was only what you saw in the field.
I also like to make the fact of, can you explain more by your statement of he stood his ground as in your client stood his own ground, stood your ground? That makes sense.
Are you asking me that as a medical
Yeah.
professional?
No. It's a general question. We've went past the medical. We've moved past it now. I'm asking you. You stated that Mr. Sinclair was enforcing the stand your ground. Can you go into a more explanation of what you mean by this?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevancy. Was I called to the stand as a medical professional or as
I mean, it's
the
about
lawyer
both.
that's trying?
About both, really, because you were the medical on scene, and then you're also Sinclair's lawyer. That's also made statements.
Okay, before I rule on the objection, did you call her up as a witness or as a medical professional?
Francis had to go on his head for 2 seconds, but was Francis had to call her up. But we'll go down the medical route. That's fine. With that, then we don't have any more questions.
Okay, on the basis
pass.
also of that, I will then sustain your objection, Ms. Sayer.
I've got no more questions to ask.
This one, I'm unsure how to proceed.
Franks is daydreaming?
Yeah, but that was Frank's last question was what he had. I just had a different question, but obviously you've overruled it, so it's all right. We are good. Messiah would.
Okay, so you rest. Miss Sayer, it's kind of weird to ask, but do you wish to cross-examine yourself?
No, Your Honor. My medical records are in the system. If they wanted to know more about it, they should have, as a medical professional, questioned me and subpoenaed those records.
Anything further, or can we excuse you as a witness?
I have nothing further.
Then you are excused. So, State, is there anything more you would like to bring forward as of witnesses or evidence?
Yeah, we want to call it Ralph Butcher.
Decent.
Is Ralph Butcher?
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
there he is.
Where do I go?
No, Mr. Butcher, please stand where the microphone is so everyone can hear you.
Where the fuck's the microphone?
Where Mr. Franks and Bailey
Sit
are.
over here.
Yes. Make sure you
Dude, what
have
the
the
fuck?
microphone.
Move. Hello.
Okay, please repeat after me.
Please
I,
repeat
Ralph Butcher,
I, Ralph Butcher,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
to tell the truth but nothing but the truth.
You may proceed with the questioning.
In the mechanic shop, after you hit Mr. Sinclair, did you or did you not apologize to Mr. Sinclair?
Yeah. It was very quick at the time, but I was like, oh shit, sorry. It was something along the lines. Like it was a genuine mistake for me hitting him.
Okay. And after you took the officer down with your pickaxe, where were you trying to head to when you left the mechanic shop?
I was running straight out to the car park. I'm pretty much sure I had a black car parked right corner. So the idea where I was just gonna bolt it, and the way I was running were like I'm pretty much sure it was like diagonal. If you were coming to the car park where the wall is, I was aiming for the bottom right corner so I could jump over the wall towards the gas station.
Okay. While you were running away from the officer, how were you positioned against Mr. Sinclair?
Completely turned around. Like I apologized to him and I just bolted it going for that cop.
Was your back to them? Were you to the side?
I turned around. I either turned around or I were in the motion of turning around. Because at one point, all the thing I remember were getting a tingling feeling in my back, and then I were on my face.
That's all. No, actually, hang on. Actually, yeah, that's all for now.
Sweet.
Miss Sayer, do you wish to cross?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Butcher, what was your intention whenever you jumped off the roof?
Do I need to answer that?
The witness will answer.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be honest. I was going to knock the living shit out of Lauren. Like, I was going to... Well, Laura, sorry, her name's Laura. I was going to remove her teeth. And when I saw it wasn't Laura. What's the cop's name?
Lennon.
Lennon.
So Lennon Power.
When I saw Lennon, it was a bit too late, and I had to commit.
Objection leading.
What does
I
that
need
mean?
to know the officer's name.
Why do I need to know the officer's name? Is that relevant?
Objection is sustained.
What does that mean? Does that mean I can carry on?
Just carry on with your statement, Ralph.
Okay, yeah, sweet. So yeah, I jumped down. I had my pickaxe in hand, pretty much. I went to hit the cop, but obviously your client were a little bit too close. I hit him. I said, "Oh shit, I'm sorry." It was something along those lines. It was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sure. Oh shit, I'm sorry." Didn't mean to. It was something along the lines. And then obviously they all moved back, and then I ran straight after the cop, did the copping, and then I don't know, 15 seconds from start to finish, 20 seconds from start to finish, I were on my face. And like I said, the only thing I remember were waking up and my back were hurting.
Miss Sayer, anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, then the witness is excused.
Thank you.
Do we have any more witnesses or statements or evidence to provide before we move on to closing arguments?
Yeah, I would like to, actually no, just go to closing statement. It's okay.
Miss Sayer, anything? I take the silence as a no. Miss Sayer, you may proceed with your closing arguments.
Thank you, Your Honor. And no, we didn't have any more witnesses. At this time, I feel that the state has failed to bring to you evidence of premeditation. They have very, very clearly put forth their statement on what they believe is self-defense and the stand your ground statute as it is. But I feel that they have done no due diligence to this court to prove that there was any malice from my client towards the individual or premeditation prior to or during this incident. The law clearly says it has to be grievous bodily harm to kill intentions and premeditation. I've seen no evidence put to me or to this court that proves premeditation. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Miss Sayer. You may proceed with your closing argument, State.
Your Honor, this case is not about whether Ralph Butcher is a good person or whether his intentions were violent. We acknowledge Mr. Butcher wielded a pickaxe. However, the law does not grant a license to kill as a reward for a victim of an earlier assault. The moment the threat is neutralized, the right to use deadly force evaporates. Bryson Sinclair had every opportunity to retreat, to seek cover, or let the responding officers handle this situation. Instead, he waited the 15 seconds to draw his firearm and shoot a fleeing man in the back of the head and body. In his own words, "You fuck around and find out" summarizes the intent perfectly. This wasn't self-defense. This was a calculated attempt to take a human life. For this reason, the state maintains the attempted murder is the only charge that fits the gravity of Mr. Sinclair's actions. We, as the court, we ask the court to find the defendant guilty.
Is that all?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now that we have finished with the closing arguments, we will take a quick couple of minutes to go and review all the evidence, the testimonies, and all the arguments presented, and we will come back with a ruling.
Thank you, Your Honor.
10-4.
Did I do good?
Yeah, you did alright, but okay.
No, you sucked.
Smithy!
What?
Catch!
Oh, thanks.
Wow.
You're welcome.
You did your hair. Yeah.
You like it? I go with that Harry K style.
Why's your beard pink though?
I like it. What the fuck? Shut up, Owen.
Hello.
Scumbag. Fuck you. Get away from me.
That's a petrol can.
Oh. Fair enough. Hey, as long as you like it. Suits you.
Cheers, old timer. Can I have
That's
your
a jerry
ID?
can.
What?
Oh, nice.
What?
No.
Why?
How's it been?
That's just my,
Yeah,
I don't know where mine is to be fair.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Crazy individual.
Is it over?
Not yet. They got to do the final verdict.
Oh man, I
Yeah, they haven't done that bit yet.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I was falling asleep again.
Nat wants you
Where?
out in the hallway.
Ah.
Fuck you, you're a tattleteller. Yeah.
Yeah, 10-4.
Cases don't have anything to do with civil, so the outcome of this won't.
If it happens again, I'll go ahead and head up there.
Ask me if I give two fucks.
Probably step out of the bullpen.
I mean,
by the way.
if you sue somebody, you have to pay if you lose.
Okay.
Just saying. I was just letting you know. You said you were gonna sue, so I was just letting you know.
So you're a snitch?
What the fuck does that make me a snitch? Who the hell's a snitch?
I don't know. No one. Hey, that's okay. Do you want to join me?
Fuck no, dude.
So why are you throwing it?
You're the one fucking throwing out the snitch word.
You nervous up there on that stand?
Me?
Yeah.
Same shit, different day.
You're an animal, you are.
No, I'm not.
He's a dumbass. That's what he is.
There you go. He knows.
He's down to one brain cell.
I'm gonna be up there soon.
When is your case?
No idea. Case is. I got two of them now.
I know.
According to my attorney, both of them will be easy claps. One of them, officer jumped on my boat without having a reason, told me to stop, tased me, cuffed me. I drowned, died for a few minutes. EMS had to bring me back. And then they charged me with disobeying the lawful order, even though they admitted they had no probable cause, and then still sent me to jail to maximum security. And then the
You
second
deserve
one, the
it.
other day, I was standing around in an outfit with a voice changer, and I got rushed by Harry and Bailey. They said I'm being detained, then they started searching me, and then decided to ask for my name. Violation of my civil rights. So both cases are easy fucking wins. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, they sure did. We've seen it in the body cam. Yeah, I know, man. I know. That I even told them, I'm like, you guys admitted you had no PC. You're still charging me. You do know this is wrong, right? I told them right there in the cells, and they didn't care. I know. Exactly. The officer even offered to pay me 20 grand, and I was like, that's proof even more so right there that he knows he fucked up.
I love it when officers pay me over some stupid shit. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Yep. If we end up getting it anytime soon. Nice. Although next time I'll be a little more dressed up. I was just up at the oil rig, so didn't have time to change.
I don't know. I watched that body cam footage, and I'm a little more sympathetic to the defendant up there after seeing it.
I mean, of course,
Sorry, what, you talking to me?
If this was a
I was
case
just
of the
talking out
jury,
loud.
Sarah would have won already.
Talking to yourself's first case of insanity.
If everyone may be seated, please. Everyone is here. Everyone is in their place. So, the court has carefully considered all testimony, evidence, and arguments that have been presented so far, and the court is now prepared to issue a ruling on the case. After reviewing the facts, the court finds in favor of the state. The charges will not be overturned.
Oh, that's it. Thank you.
This concludes the matter of trial in the state. The court is adjourned.
Yes, it!
I would also like Mr. Sinclair and Miss Kelly Sayer to stay behind for a couple minutes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Alright, so PD1 then.
Yeah, of course they did.
Okay.
Nice. Interesting.
I mean, you'll have to go talk to CJ.
Yep.
Here come my number.
I don't want to go on the green thing. You can go on a green thing.
Yeah, like
CJ, can I talk to you after this?
Just wait till they're done. Wait till they're done.
Yeah, let them have that conversation and then.
So you, Ralph, know when you rang me and you said how you
Dude,
got this and I said
Franks,
I've got it in
I'm
the
not gonna lie.
bag. Shut up
Dude,
and
you
don't
are
say anything.
fucking terrifying to go up against. Dude, you just, it's.
Nah, she didn't. But if you've seen the notes that I've got, then yeah.
Exactly.
Can I put interrupt there? Like, can you give me a number?
Alright,
What?
So we got pressing.
God.
How? I'm so
Dubskis.
Excited to it now. Hold it.
I know I'm going to go buy a car.
They said,
Wait, what do you mean by a car?
RX-7.
Pay this gentleman. I'll be with you
What
right
you
now.
like?
You want? I'll get it. The guy was here in the court case.
Oh, what you buying?
RX-7.
Question. I went to go look at the
Is
licenses
We
up
need it
front.
over there. Or
I've seen my latest.
No. Just them.
No, I haven't. I just want to finally buy a car. You know what I'm saying?
What did I say?
Might not
What
want
did I
to
say
in the back
Come with me.
with me.
Have a look.
Also, please go to a barber.
No.
You look like Ron Weasley.
This is me now.
This is you now, is it?
This is me.
And he just lost a gun license and 2 pistols.
Yeah, well, that's why I said in his own words, which is that.
That's hundreds of thousands of dollars down the
All I'm
drain.
gonna say though now is, I think this gives grounds to go to EMS command about her capabilities.
I mean, yeah, I agree. And off an extent.
Well, what do you think about that, Harry?
Yeah.
What's that?
Go to EMS about her capability as a medic for not understanding the question. If it enters here, does it exit there?
No, I think we've won. We don't need to go any further with it.
But just drop it.
If we do
Case
that, we're beating
closed.
her while she's down. There's no point.
I can do that.
It's over.
Nothing.
Get some pilot's license, my friend.
I have one.
Get a plane then.
They're more expensive. Long as it's only $750.
Let me broke.
I'm not
Oh,
surprised when
goddamn.
they jack the prices up. I spent 1.6 million on trucks and trailers. All right.
That's your
Sounds
fault.
Why is it my fault?
I didn't tell you to spend that much money, did I?
That is true.
No, but you waved it in front of my face, and I'm like, ooh, look at that.
Well, that's kind of how it works.
So I mean, well, this is the only request I've ever made. You know.
Yes, I'll tell you, I have an alternative for you. Go work extra hard, get more money, and buy a plane.